Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 11. We're here for round 4 of 20. It's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We should be expecting one more driver to join of Warren to get into his Haas car. But yeah, 18 minutes ahead of us then for qualifying, 25 laps around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. What's going to be a very challenging track to get right. And probably serves up the most chaos. It's always one of those in the season where a safety car is pretty much guaranteed. Haven't had much safety car, virtual safety car action so far, but the chances are the highest they've been in the first 4 races coming into round 4. So heading out onto the track first is Kobe, making his debut last week. A very impressive debut. Fighting for pole, finishing on the podium for a great first outing in his Williams. Again, he should look pretty good for today to challenge for pole. He just says he just needs to get his tyre management as well as ERS improved. And in the other Williams, of course, it's Samurai, who's second in the World Championship, trailing the leader by 7 points. He'll be hoping to bounce back with a win today, but I'm sure we'll fully expect him up at the front like he has been so far this season. We'll just go in order now. Dello in the Ferrari, hoping for another strong showing of points. We got Adam for the first time this season back in his Haas after a strong rookie season in Tier 2 Season X, ending it on a high with a victory in Brazil and some being close to some pole positions. He'll definitely be one to watch. He has not raced in the first 3 rounds, so he's here in Jeddah to see what he can do against all the new guys. We've got Charlie back in the Sauber. His foot or his ankle or his knee or something he had issues with last week, so he became the only retirement of the race in Bahrain. Hopefully it's gotten a bit better for Saudi. Moving on to Bluey and I guess Nathan in general. They're still keeping up their solid point streaks in RB. Bluey involved in quite a few good battles last time out in Bahrain. He's definitely taking the stages further and further to around the 2 second, 1.5 second, depending on the track. So he's definitely hoping for more points. We've got Chubster, second race out of 4. Obviously his first and only race so far was Japan, where he finished second. It was a great haul of points for himself and the team. So we'll be hoping to go again strongly in Jeddah. A strength of his, not really getting 3-second time penalties. And around here, that could give him quite a bit of a boost, especially around this section of the track. We've got Grush, currently 4th in the championship, trailing Eggy by only a couple points in the Red Bull. He's been a solid, consistent driver so far, and he's about to begin a lap himself. Christian also showed a really strong outing in Bahrain, at least at the start, as there we go, there's Warren. Unfortunately, errors with speeding and whatnot left him down in, I think, 9th in the end, but he was running strongly in the top 5, even top 3 at the start of last week, so he'll be hoping to keep that momentum going. We've got Evan then, championship leader, has won 2 of the 3 races so far, has had amazing one-lap pace, has been on pole for the last 2 Grand Prix, has won the last 2 Grand Prix. Japan in a very dominant display, and Bahrain by opting with the 1 stop. Eggy, though, goes to the top, though, 28.4 for the Mercedes man, 3rd in the championship at the moment, finishing 3rd, 5th, and I believe 7th so far this season. So it's been an interesting haul of points, as it's a Mercedes 1-2 at the moment. Chubster 2nd off, Samurai 2.2 off, but like we've seen in every qualifying session, Samurai usually does a first lap which is quite a bit off the pace, and then his second lap is usually right there. And the final 2, we got Yonder, second race of the season for him, as Adam splits the 2 Mercedes, goes second. So yeah, Yonder in the Ferrari. It was going to be a podium, as he also opted for the 1 stop in Bahrain, but sped into the pit lane, and that 10-second dropped him from 3rd to 4th, giving Kobe his first podium on debut. So Yonder showing good signs. He's on wheel, so he's going to still be trying to get used to it. but he's still showing some good pace for Tier 2 to be at the top. And then, yeah, like I said, Kobe, at the start of the session, we'll see what he can also deliver. I'm pretty sure today might be a bit of a Evan versus Kobe kind of qualifying at least. Maybe someone else can throw their hat in the ring, but I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, it'll be Evan versus Kobe. Evan's on the inters, so don't expect anything from him for the next 4 minutes or so as he heads back into the pit lane. Didn't even set a lap on the inters. He must have invalidated somewhere. Let's try and find a driver who's about to begin a lap. We see Samurai 1.5 seconds up, still needing 7/10 to go ahead of Eggy. As Eggy heads into the pit lane, so we'll see Samurai around the final corner. And we'll cross the line. Is it going to be Eggy's 28.4? Comes across the line. 28.3, 700s. So Samurai now on provisional pole. As we see the Mercedes of Chubster crossing the line. Charlie, 13 seconds down. As Warren's in his Haas. So what about Kobe then? I think Kobe's about to begin a lap. He's got the Haas in front of him of Warren. Nope, not Warren. Adam. And yeah, he's still going to decide to start his lap relatively close, but I think Adam might be going into the pit lane. Or he's going for another run. No, he's in the pit lane. So, a lap of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Kobe staying extremely to the right when he begins his lap. I haven't really seen too many people do that. Heavy braking into turn 1, into the first chicane. Nearly turns in too early and invalidates, which may mess up his run. Slight wiggle on the exit, just trying to get the traction down. Heading into what is a very tight turn 4. Turn in too early, race over. Tyre gone, wing gone, and then you have to navigate the whole lap with the damage through the tight, twisty section of Sector 1. So easy to get caught on that curb and go straight on. So easy to invalidate on the exit here, but he's backed off enough to keep it legal. Finishing the first sector split then, 32.7 for the Williams. Diving round the long left-hander, keeping close to the inside. Now opening up towards the kinks. Another tricky little section. Darting right. So easy like that to hit the inside wall, but he's managed to hold it within the confines. Once again, making his way through the kinks. Left, right, left. DRS open for the Williams. Finishing the second sector split. Now darting into turn 22, 23. So easy to go out wide and invalidate, but he's kept it within track limits once again. And now he's just got one corner to focus on through the final few kinks. Foot flat to the floor for the Williams. 28.3, time to beat. One corner to go. And as soon as you've navigated the apex, power on, throttle on, use any bit of battery you have left, DRS open across the line, and it will be a 1 minute 28.2 to put himself 1/10 ahead of his teammate and snatch back provisional pole. So yeah, solid lap from Kobe, few mistakes, could definitely find a few tenths. But yeah, top 3 looking pretty good. Let's wait for Evan to probably smash that. Or not. We'll see. He hasn't said anything this week, unlike the last 2 weeks, so a bit unknown of what to expect. I'm trying to remember myself. What are the time trials? 27 something? Low 27s. I think my time trial's about a second quicker than that, so I'd expect pole today to be just in the 27th. I'm actually a bit surprised they're not in the 27s. Just a couple tenths off. So I'm expecting someone like Evan to probably do a 27.9 or something along those lines. We'll see what he can do then. 9 minutes on the clock, so he definitely has time to do 2 runs after attempting an inter-run. Into turn 1 then, turning a bit early like Kobe did, and having to turn away heading into the corner there. Showing they've got a good amount of rotation. Evan taking a lot of commitment into turn 4, hugging the inside there. And he looks pretty confident through this. Really hugging all the inside corners. Taking it a lot nicer than Kobe did. Remember, Kobe had to back off there, which could have cost him time. Evan even into the wall slightly. 32.2 for the first set to split. And now once again hugging the inside line. Going a bit wide and rides the wall a little. Yeah, we're looking at about half a second there as Evan really nailed some of those corners where Kobe struggled. So I think that might be where Evan gets his biggest advantage. Middle set to split. Didn't quite see what Kobe did. But Evan's looking pretty good. Slight downshift and a lift. And this could be well into the 27s. Evan looking for a third pole position in a row. As we see Eggy is also out there. Final corner for Evan. Right up close to the wall. But now he'll power down. DRS open. Use any bit of battery he has left. Will cross the line. And it is a 28-2. And actually misses out on taking provisional pole by 33 thousandths. You'd think with his first sector, he was going to easily take it. It must show that his wings are particularly high if he's able to be that good in the first sector because it's the most technical. The second and third obviously demand a lot from straight line speed, and I think that's where Evan has just lost out. I didn't see too many mistakes. Wow. Okay. So as much as Evan gained half a second in the first sector, Kobe gained half a second in the last sector. Is it a case of battery then? Is Kobe not using that much? Is Evan using too much? Because they're really similar in the middle. And it's all ended up 33 thousandths apart. What about Eggy and Samurai then? Eggy looks like he's down. Looks like he's made a mistake on this lap. 6 minutes 40 to go. Be able to go again. Samurai, what about him? Flying through the last sector now. So we'll see what he can do as Kobe still midway through. He's going to struggle to get one more lap after this with only 6.5 minutes to go. Eggy into the pit lane, so he'll wait until the last run. Samurai will come around the final corner then. Just over a 10th off pole at the moment. We'll see what he can do. It's looking pretty good. 28-2 is the time to beat. Crosses the line. 28-0 for Samurai. It's still a Williams. It's now a Williams 1-2 as he's back from third up to first. And he's now got the advantage of just over a 10th. Very close between the top four. Yep, good lap from Samurai. We're nearly in the 27s. But yeah, game on. As it was last week. As Kobe, once again, he's the only person I've ever seen in like the last 5 games to take that line, starting a lap. But he's going again then. This time does look a bit more committed into turn 1. Remember, he's half a second down with a 0.7 to Evan's 0.2 that he did in the first sector. So we know there's time for Kobe. We know there's definitely a few tenths in the first sector for him. But Adam now goes into the 27s. Shouldn't have discounted him because he hasn't raced all season. But we definitely knew he was going to be at the top. As Kobe has made a mistake in Sector 1. We know the time's there. He knows the time is there. But he's pushing a bit too hard in his second Grand Prix. And he's made a mistake. He's done well to keep it out of the wall. But he has 5 minutes to go to do one more run. And Adam now throws his hat in the ring to make it... Well, I was going to say the 2 Williams and Aston were the podium last week. And it looks like we're going to get a repeat. But no, we have Adam now in the fight. Eggy obviously in the fight. Just lacking a few tenths or so. And then there's a half a second gap to Yonder, who's currently on an invalid lap. Grush on an out lap. Chubster invalid. Charlie 9th. Christian 10th. Warren and Bluey 11th and 12th. Dello hasn't really set a proper lap time yet. And Nathan into the pit lane hasn't set a lap time at all. So Kobe will obviously not improve on this run after that spin. Very interesting though. 4.5 minutes to go. Another big slide for Kobe as he's going to head into the pit lane. Samurai being put back in the garage, and then the Williams crew will do the same again for Kobe. And then Adam will slowly follow in as well. What about Dello? He's still invalidated, so he's not going to get his run. Christian invalidated. Charlie in. Grush into turn 1 and 2. Yonder in the pit lane as well. So unless Grush pits this lap, this might be his run. It does look like he's trying to push in the first sector, does the Red Bull. Taking it very nicely. A bit cautiously. I think he's just trying to see what time he can find. He's currently 9 tenths, nearly a second down. He's done a 32.6, which is actually quicker than Kobe's 32.7 in the first sector. Just looked really smooth for Grush. Not being too aggressive. Look at that. Really not pushing on the limits of curbs or track limits or anything. He's just taking it stable. And it's rewarding him in some ways. Really avoiding the kinks there. Middle sector split has found a 10th and a half now. Which will at least get him to 6th. There's a big gap for him to try and get into 5th. I'm sure he'll be blasting his battery. You can see the red light already flashing at the back of the car. Heavy braking zone into the final corner. But massively slides on the exit, on the power, broken his front wing, and that's unfortunately going to be the lap ruined. He only really needed to find a couple hundredths to get ahead of Yonder, who's now exiting the pit lane. I don't really know if he was going to find half a second. Didn't need to push that hard. But with 2 minutes 27 to go and 1 minute 27 lap time, it's going to be close for Grush. If he can get in, get out, he might just unfortunately not make it. But we'll see. Samurai exiting the pit lane now. They're all exiting the pit lane. There's Eggy. He's going to be one of the last, if not the last, as there's an RB of Bluey and not Bluey, Nathan, who's about to begin his final run. We have Kobe also about to begin his final run. So Eggy will be the last one to do a lap unless Grush can get out in time. But yeah, let's see what Kobe can do then. Third time is the charm usually. So diving down into turn 1 for Kobe. Once again, a bit hesitant on the turn-in to make sure to not invalidate. He knows there's about a good 2 tenths in the first sector he can find as he's nearly 3 tenths down on provisional pole time. Into turn 4, we've seen no one hit it yet. There's always usually one in qualifying in Tier 2 in the last however many seasons. But Kobe this time, making it more planted. This is the section of track he really needs to nail. And this time round, he has done indeed. It was a 0.7 on his run. It's a 0.1 on his final run. And he's finally aced it and has got the time he needed. Evans was a 0.2. He's about to start his run. Kobe's flying. And when I said it might be Kobe versus Evan, as much as they're third and fourth, they're leaving their best until the last. Through 16 and 17 goes the Williams. Look at that. He's leaving no time left out there. Now through the kinks. Blasting his way through. DRS Open. Really trying to shave off any few thousandths. Finishes the middle sector split. He's up by 8 tenths. Absolutely giving it everything is Kobe. And this should surely be the time to beat. We'll see the RB of Nathan about to finish his lap. But further behind, Kobe is absolutely in dreamland with his car right now. 1 corner to go. Takes it very nicely indeed. Doesn't lose it on the power like we've seen a few cars do. And this is going to be quite the time to beat. And it's going to be provisional pole for Kobe. A 27.3. Half a second deficit to Adam. Now we see what the rest can do. And Evan slides out of 17. It's not going to be pole position. Number 3 in a row for Evan. It's going to be 4th at best. And, well, Adam has found a 10th. And I don't know if he's just been given slipstream by his teammate into the final corner. What about Samurai? 3 thousandths, but he's half a second down nearly in the first sector. So Adam, can he reduce the gap? What can he even reduce the gap to? It's not going to be pole, but it is a slight improvement to keep himself on the front row. Samurai's found a couple tenths, but he's going to need so much more than that in the final sector. What about Eggy? A 5. He's still lacking about 3 odd tenths. That was perfect from Kobe in the first sector. And we see, is that Christian round the final corner as well. We'll see Samurai in the background. Christian will cross the line. 29.5 to move himself up to 9th. Samurai then doesn't make it a front row lockout for Williams. He lost some time, only improved by 3 thousandths. So just Eggy left, who's up by a couple tenths. Could he potentially knock Evan down to 5th? As across the line, that's Dello in 7th. Eggy crosses the line. He goes to 3rd and out-qualifies Samurai. So he found quite a lot of time right at the end there, did Eggy, to out-qualify the top 2 in the World Championship, who were 5th and 4th. So Kobe, in his second race, is on pole position as he weaves over into the pit lane, and he knows that he is the number 1 in qualifying at Saudi. Adam, I'm sure he'll be happy with that front row, but that is quite the gap to Kobe, who absolutely nailed every corner he needed. And that he was messing up all session, and he saved his best right until the end. It's an RB 7th row, 13th and 14th. Warren 12th, Christian 11th. Charlie managed to get top 10. Grush 9th, Chubster 8th. Both Ferraris 7th and 6th. And yeah, Evan P5 after that slide. Samurai 4th, Eggy 3rd, Adam 2nd, Kobe as soon as he's retired. It will be pole position There we have it. Very interesting race ahead of us then. As we've seen from the first 3 rounds, Kobe, Eggy, Samurai and Evan right up there. But now we have Adam, who's definitely going to be a constant challenge. It'll be interesting to see with what the strategy's like. I'm still adamant that Evan might have higher wings than Kobe, at least. But I could be wrong, because Kobe obviously wasn't showing his potential until the end. Because this is a low wing circuit. So when I say higher wings, it could even be just the difference of 3 or something like that. But yeah, this should be a very interesting race. Everyone currently being set on the mediums. It'll be up to them if they change. You'd expect medium hard, hard medium. But with it being Saudi Arabia and chaos usually unfolds, starting on the quicker tyres usually the way to go. I mean, round 1 we didn't have a save. We had a VSC on the opening lap because of Delo's crash. Round 2 in Japan we had a safety car early on because of Warren and Alfie's crash. And last week in Bahrain, I don't think we had anything. But it's so much easier to lose it here as the formation lap will begin with the walls right up close. And Kobe will lead them round then on the formation lap in his second race in EXFL. Williams looking like the team to beat in the constructors then. Mercedes and Ferrari are also close as Warren and Bluey have already got themselves disqualified. Let's have a look at tyres. Everyone starting on the medium compound tyres. No one is going to take a chance. The softs will degrade too quickly, and the hards may screw them over if there's an early safety car, because they will probably have to make 2 stops. But yeah, 25 laps. It's one of the shorter distances. The only shorter one is, I believe, Spa with 22, Vegas and this with 25. And with it being just under a 1 minute 30 lap time, I wouldn't say it drags on, but when you get to like lap 19, you think, oh, the race is almost over. But nope, it takes a good 10 minutes or so. So those who have to gain have a lot more time than they think. There we go, possible race strategy. Should be a 1 stop. For some reason, if anyone wants to go for the 2, it probably won't work. But yeah, besides Warren and Bluey at the start, everyone behaving sensibly, getting temp in their tyres. Kobe has got quite a gap to Adam. As Eggy, Samurai, Evan, Yonder, Delo follow. Chubster, Grush and Charlie, Christian and Nathan. We'll see if all 14 can make their way through 1 and 2 safely, or if there is going to be some carnage. Kobe will line up then. He doesn't have the inside line, but he is slightly facing left, and Adam quite a way behind, actually. So Kobe has not wasted any time, and he's going to be sat on that grid for a bit longer than maybe he wanted, as that's spinning in the background. I think that was Delo, which is one way to get temperature in your tyres. See, Adam pulls over, and he has been disqualified, and that will really help Kobe into turn 1. Hold on to the lead a little. Eggy, then Samurai, Evan, 2 Ferraris, Chubster now slotting into his grid slot. Garush and Charlie already there. Christian, and now Nathan. So we gear up for round 4 of 20. Tier 2, Season 11. It's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The 5 lights come on. Under the night sky. It's lights out and away we go. Kobe versus Adam. Heading into turn 1 with Eggy right behind and having a great start into turn 1. Kobe leads. Eggy up to second. Slight contact with the Haas as Martin now trying to make it a Williams 1-2. Kobe absolutely leaving the pack. And who's going to be second into turn 4? Martin versus Eggy. Martin round the outside. Just goes off track. He may have to give that back as Eggy drops to 3rd. Adam drops to 4th. Evan stays where he is in 5th. Chubster's got past both Ferraris up in a 6th. And we have a yellow at the back of the RB. And it's Kobe leading out ahead of his teammate who, if he doesn't give it back soon, that's Charlie spinning around, dropping down to last. So Samurai might have a penalty on his hands by the end of the race if he doesn't give it back to Eggy soon. As fighting away, Grush and the Ferrari of Dello. And Martin trying to close up to Kobe, who got a great start. Adam just didn't go forward. And Eggy looked like he was going to take the lead at one point, heading into turn 1. So 1.1 second gap for Kobe, sliding into 22, 23. Then Martin, then Eggy under pressure from Adam, who's blasting his battery in the slipstream of the Mercedes. And Evan watching this unfold. And it's clear that Martin is not going to give the place back to Sven, as Adam's now in between them anyway. So, I mean, it's up to Eggy if he reports it. But, I mean, 5-second pen looming over Samurai then as we finish the first lap. It's a Williams 1-2. And by lap 25, it might not even matter. Adam then got ahead of Eggy into third. And Evan just keeping with these guys. And Chubster 2. Then the 2 Ferraris. Then Grush. Christian right behind him. And Warren making slight contact too. And the 2 RBs have been gapped by the pack already. Charlie with that spin drops down to last. As we see the battery levels. Top 2 fine. And it gets a bit smaller and smaller. As it looks like Eggy is struggling now. As he's got Evan behind him. And this is where warnings early on can amount to 3-second penalties later on. As like so, Warren gets a penalty, gets past Christian though, due to that, and gets up into the points. So from 2nd all the way down to 11th, they're all within DRS of one another. Kobe looks like he has the pace at the moment to just stretch out a few tenths over his teammate, and Adam will be looking to regain P2. We're getting really close to that wall. Are the top 5? All pretty high battery, apart from Adam, who's catching Samurai out a little. And just like he overtook Eggy 1 lap ago here, he's now got the DRS to help him. Overtakes Samurai, who's blasting his battery, trying to stay ahead. Adam not, because he knows he's low on battery. As they cross the DRS detection, now it's been moved. And looks like Adam will still get it. Martin's still blasting his battery. Here comes Adam then across the line, trying to take P2 away from Samurai. He's got the racing line. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 1. The Williams versus the Haas. Adam round the outside. Gets the move done just ahead of Martin, but slides on exit. Martin blasting his battery to try and get back ahead. They're going to go wheel to wheel into 4. Now Martin is back in front, just about avoiding the wall there. Good battle between them for Martin to hang on. Has lost a bit of time to Kobe in doing so, but is holding on 2 seconds. And Evan making slight contact there. That's going to mess up his run. As going off there is Chubster, nearly losing the car in 6th. And it looks like Warren's really making places ahead of Grush and now Dello, but that has dropped all of them outside of this train. So yeah, Samurai getting his elbows out. Ahead of Adam, who's now going to try and save up his battery. Eggy's got plenty to use. Evan's not even touched his. And both Haas are struggling with battery. One struggling to avoid the wall. So once again, Samurai, not the greatest run through 22 and 23. Adam not blasting all his battery, however. But he's in the slipstream with the DRS. And yeah, I thought the detection point was heading into here, because I think it was last game. But Adam is ahead of Martin. They go wheel to wheel into the final corner. Slight contact between the Haas and the Williams. I don't know if Eggy hit him slightly. It didn't look like the Haas made contact, as now Evan flies past into 4th as well, making a move. As Grush and Dello swap too, diving into turn 1. And that's Adam up into 2nd then, ahead of Samurai. Evan ahead of Eggy. 3-second gap now for Kobe, as the rest are squabbling. And Adam has really low battery. Look at that, Kobe's got a full battery to use. He's really loving it at the moment. 2 Mercedes now find themselves staring at one another. Yonder still hanging to the back of this train. A bit reminiscent of last week, as going off there is Eggy and Evan. Could be a warning. Yeah, Yonder, similar position to last week. He was at the back of the train in Bahrain around 7th. He ended up getting all of these guys due to his strategy. And now Samurai's under pressure from Evan, the top 2 in the World Championship, who were going to fight in Bahrain for the win before Samurai pitted a second time. And he admitted that was a Ferrari strategy. So he'll try and not do that again. But he knows he needs to beat Evan today to close down the 7-point gap. And he knows if he lets Evan go, Evan could still possibly have a chance at winning this race. And every lap, Samurai has not taken 22 right. And that is going to give Evan all the incompetence he needs to fly past his championship rival. And the slight contact between the two. I think Martin just got away without any damage, but it was close to the wall. So Evan gets ahead of the Williams and is up in a third now. And it looks like Martin's struggling. Same with Eggy as he's close to his teammate. And so is Yonder. So we look into turn one. And look at that. Adam's really trying to use all his batteries. Kept the gap constant. Or he's brung it down slightly because of using all that battery. And it's made Kobe use some of his too. And any one of these laps, that turn 4 could catch them out. Just like there with Evan. That was nearly race ending for the championship leader and second in the championship. They both nearly hit the wall there. They're having to be really careful there. And every lap we go through there, it looks like Chubster is going to make a mistake as Samurai makes one and loses ground to Eggy and Chubster. And maybe Yonder as well. Warren with another penalty. Yonder to the inside. And Samurai has dropped down to 7th now due to his mistake. I was going to say Chubster keeps lagging every time we go through a certain part of the first sector. But Samurai has gone from 2nd all the way down to 7th now. Just seems like he's got no confidence in some of these corners, as a lot of them are banging that wall. Adam keeping the gap constant to Kobe, so he's showing he has the pace. But Evan is holding on too. Let's look at Samurai through 22-23. That's probably the best I've seen him take it. As he's going to try and keep with Yonder, who's close to Chubster, who hasn't got any battery really. And Yonder will know it. Chubster goes defensive. Yonder might get a bit of a switch as Grush plays around with P8 with Warren, who plays around with the whole car of Grush. And Warren back in front as Yonder now flies past Chubster. And will Samurai be close enough to get past Chubster to the inside? Thinks better of it at the moment. As Dello gets ahead of Warren. And Grush. I think he got ahead of both of them as Warren really squeezes Dello out there. Gives him a penalty. And it seems like Warren mid-apex just decides to drive into them. He's now going to try and go for a move at turn 4 to the inside. Slight contact. Has to make Dello go off again. Is the Haas and the Ferrari fighting around Grush. Watching this all unfold. Christian's been left by them. And they're getting caught on the curb there. And Warren all over the back of the Ferrari. A bit too much. And as the top guys are starting to separate a little. As Nathan gets a pen. We see 2nd with someone in DRS. 4th, someone in DRS. 6th, same thing. 8th, same thing. So there could be a few swaps here and there. 4 seconds now as Evan is trying to make a move on Adam. Thinks better of it. Not really a place you see many moves. He's got a lot of battery. Adam has been saving though. And Kobe's been using. Hence why the gap's gone from 3 to 4.5 nearly. As we see Warren versus Dello at 22 and 23. Third time this lap. Dello's been forced off. As we see swaps everywhere. Evan gets past Adam. Samurai gets past Chubster. And Warren is going to be under big pressure from Dello. As through goes Grush on the pair of them. Into P8. Doing a bit what Dello did this time last lap. As that's Yonder getting past Eggy. So Yonder, who was in 7th, now up in a 4th. Adam back up in a 2nd. Ahead of Evan. Overtake galore. What about these three? Heading into turn 1. Grush under pressure from Warren. Goes around the outside. Going to try and make the move on Grush, who leaves the space. Warren to the inside, who leaves the space. And Warren gets back ahead. Good move from the Haas. As Grush just trying to hold off from Dello. And Dello thinks better of it. Evan now gets a 3-second time penalty. Has been caught out by the technical part of Sector 1. As Adam holds on. That's going to really affect Evan's race. And Yonder now in a net podium. And it's really just who can keep mistakes to a minimum. Especially through the first sector. How the gaps can just extend like Dello to Grush there. 2 seconds when he was right on the rear of him. And Evan, who was right on the rear of Adam, now outside a 2nd. Might just get DRS. Yes, he has. As Eggy's now nearly been gapped by Yonder. So the real question for a lot of these guys is when do they decide to pit? For Kobe, he has a bit of a buffer. He can let the guys behind pit 1 lap earlier. And he'll pit and probably still have around a 2-3 second gap to be in control still. So he's not got too much to worry about. especially with his battery levels. I don't see anyone with fuel issues either, so that's not something to worry about. But 7 laps in, so far so good. Adam should hold on to second. Yonder should hold on to fourth. Samurai should hold on to sixth. And Warren might not hold on to eighth. As Grush blasts his battery to move his Red Bull ahead of the Haas. Dello's been left behind by quite a lot. As Warren breaks way too late, has to avoid the Red Bull and has gone for a spin round. And will now find the gear again to get it back up into turn 2 as Dello gains from that. And Warren continues on in 10th. Just brake too late. Nearly ran into Grush. And yeah, lucky to avoid, but that spun him around. And now he's got Christian closing on him. And now Warren's going to have to close it back to Dello. I don't know if Dello has damage. Maybe that would explain the drop in pace. We have a yellow though. Oh, is that Warren again? Yeah, it is. Another mistake as his race is unraveling. And now the 2 RBs. Oh, that's a late move from Warren in front of Bluey. I'm sure Warren has, I think he has damage. And now he's just slowing Bluey down. Yeah, he's lost his left end plate. Has the Haas. And he might just go into the pits and retire at this stage. Unless he, I don't know if he has wheel issues. I don't know if it's a conscious choice. Cobb still leads. As Charlie obviously pitted early on for fresh tyres. And none of the leaders pitting. It's still a bit too early. None of the leaders swapping. Oh, never mind. It's not too early for Samurai into the pit lane. So into the pit lane for Samurai. Really struggling on those mediums then. And he will pit for hards to go to the end. Try and get a bit of an undercut. Warren goes around the final corner. And he will probably head into the pit lane as soon as he can go higher than gear 2. I mean, I'm expecting to see... Yep, there we go. The hazard of the race has finally retired, so we continue on. Samurai exits the pit lane, fighting away with Bluey there, so he's in some traffic. So he's got past one, and now he'll try and dart past the other of Christian, who just leaves enough space. And Martin sizes his way through into 9th. That's probably lost him a bit of time, but now he can use his hards to push. He's currently, what, 29 seconds off the lead. I mean, he wasn't near the lead anyway. He was around 5th or 6th, so it'll be interesting to see what the rest do in reaction to that. Adam has been doing well to keep Evan at bay. He actually closed the gap slightly on Kobe. Once again, you can see his line. He goes so wide here compared to others who just hug the inside. Evan closing up to Adam, though. Probably a little too far behind. Yonder has gapped Eggy. There's a Chubster into the pit lane now. It's a bit of an easier pit lane to enter without speeding. And only Chubster then reacts as he'll put the hard compound tyres on as expected. And we'll see Samurai cross the line. There's Chubster. You can see Samurai flying past. In 7th now. Chubster will exit the pit lane. And he'll be close with the RB. It's going to be very close with the RB. That there's contact between the Mercedes, who gets a penalty. And uses the ghosting to his advantage, as Chubster has been lagging a bit, to get past Nathan. That was interesting. But the gap to Samurai is around 4 and a bit seconds, 4.5. As going off there is Chubster. So that's going to increase. He's got to get past Christian, who will probably pit soon anyway. See Evan all over the back of Adam. 3.8. The gap's going down slightly now. So what does Kobe do? The race leader, 10 laps in. There'll be no point doing half the race on mediums, but he is carrying on. So we'll look at Adam and Evan. Surely one of them pits. Nope, they stay out as well. So it might be lap 11 then. What about Yonder? Stays out. Eggy stays out as well. As Christian has been overtaken as... Oh, Evan and Adam fighting away for P2. Evan's been trying to do this for a few laps. Adam's still ahead of him slightly. The fight for P2. He squeezes him up to the wall. Just gives him enough room. Great car placement from Adam to hold on to second there. And all the while, Samurai now using his hards to good effect. Yeah, just faster than Kobe's early stages with the mediums. That was good racing between the two. And I'm surprised none of the rest really pitted too early. But yeah, Chubbs has got past Christian. Nathan's into the pit lane now. Dello pitted kind of early too. Nathan pits onto softs for some reason. Charlie may see another car soon. 4.1, gap staying a little how it is, considering those two battled. That's not too bad. Yonder getting about half a second on Eggy each lap. It's a shame for Eggy. He went into the season as one of the favourites, and it just looks like overall he's just lacking a few tenths here or there, which would definitely see himself higher. Anyway, looking back to the front. There we go. Kobe stays out to start lap 12, which would surely be the lap to pit, but Adam and Evan... Oh, Evan just follows his line, but Adam's in then, and Evan stays out for one more lap. So this is Adam's attempt to try and get as close to an undercut to Kobe as possible. With Evans 3 second, probably isn't going to be the race win for him today. And Eggy follows Adam in as well. And he should have free air. Besides Samurai, who's pitted so early, he may even undercut back up to net second on Adam. It's close, but Adam's ahead of Samurai. So 3 laps younger. Tyres. The two Mercedes nearly do a repeat of what happened between Chubster and Nathan. So Chubster's managed to undercut Eggy, and they've nearly come together. Again, Chubster's lag, I think, has just saved them from crashing there. Samurai pitting 3 laps early has put him kind of close to who was running in second. So Evan should emerge around about where Samurai is. The top 2 in the championship fighting again, but Evan will be on newer tyres and should probably get back ahead. This is Adam's chance to try and push and close in on Kobe, who I'm sure him and Evan will be pitting this lap, along with Yonder too. As it looks like Chubster might come under pressure from Eggy soon, who will be on the fresher tyres too. There it is, Kobe's in. What about Evan? He's in too. And Yonder as well. Look at that front right. Jeez. All of them don't speed. That's good. And here we go. Where are these 3 going to come out in response? There's Kobe. There's Adam. This is going to be a bit close. The Haas versus the Williams. Kobe obviously gets on the power into turn 1 and 2. And Adam can see him right in front of him now. That 4-second gap Kobe had has been absolutely diminished. And now we have a fight on our hands for the win. Can Kobe pull away like he did in the early stints? We have a yellow, and that's Evan, the championship leader, is out of the race, and he's clipped turn 4. Someone was going to do it, and the man who has been the most successful driver so far this season, leading, will not score any points today. Just as they've all made their stops. And now we really close up the order. Evan is out of the race. Oh. Clipping turn 4, losing his front left. And this is a big chance for Samurai to retake the lead. Yeah, no one stayed out. Everyone's made at least a stop. Yeah, so no one... If anyone stayed out 1 lap longer, it may have helped. But yeah, what turned into... Oh, it's Christian. Every time, I swear, every time we have some sort of delta, Christian gets the drive-through, unfortunately. As they all pass Evan's struck and disappeared car now. What I was going to say is that instead of just being a 1v1, now we have a few others to join in on this fight who don't have pens. Chubster does. Grush will be happy. Dello will be able to pit again. I don't see why the top 2 wouldn't pit. Samurai might. No. No? Does no one want to try mediums to the end? I know they've just pitted for new hards, so there wouldn't be too much point. Nope. If I'm Chubster, I might try it, because there's a big gap behind. And he's pitted one of the earliest of the top 6. So no one gambling. You'd think Dello would. He pitted quite early. But he doesn't. And he's fighting away with Grush. I've just realised that wasn't a safety car. That was a virtual safety car. Never mind. As the VSC ends, and what was a 1v1 is going to be a 1v1. They're not all going to... But I don't know why I thought it was a safety car. It's a VSC. So we continue. Adam versus Kobe then. And that's allowed Kobe to get some temperature in his tyres. And now, like I said, game on. Adam versus Kobe. Or is it just a case of if Adam can stick with Kobe? He's got more battery than the Williams. These two both looking for a first win of the season. Tagging the wall slightly. Samurai, who's 6 seconds ahead of Yonder, as Bluey now gets a 3 second. He's on 4 lap older tyres. So now it's down to Yonder if he can chase him down for a podium. Or is Eggy going to be close enough, as he's not only gotten ahead of Chubster but gapped it by 2 seconds. So the fight for the podium continues on. The fight for the win continues on. Lap 15 then. Kobe sets the fastest lap. About half a tenth quicker than what Samurai did. And I'm sure Adams wasn't too far off either. Tenth and a half-ish. So this might be more of a case of Adam trying to stick with in DRS. There's 3 zones here. And what was 6 seconds is now 5.4. Grush gets past Dello. No wonder none of them were pitting. And now we'll see Dello in the slipstream with the DRS on Grush, who's blasting his battery to stay in front for P7. He knows Dello has that 3, so should hold on to 7th anyway. Gap now 5 seconds, so Yonder's taking about a second out of Samurai. And if that carries on, with about 5 laps to go, he should catch him. And he's pulling away by about 8 tenths on Eggy, so Yonder showing some solid pace at the moment. Depends if Samurai finishes 4th or 5th. Either way, wherever he finishes, 3rd, 4th or 5th, it will be enough to retake the lead in the championship. That 7-point gap turned over. And that will allow everyone, really, to close up to Evan. Kobe, who has 15 points to his name, will increase to 40 at the moment. Adam, who has 0 points to his name, would really love to start his first race of the season with a win. And this is the closest he's been to Kobe since he came out the pit lane. He's not got that much battery, but neither has Kobe. So now it's Adam's time to strike. 10 laps to go, and now we have a new race leader. Adam to the inside. Kobe hanging it back round the outside. The top 2 in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, wheel to wheel as they exit the first chicane. But Adam has the momentum. Adam has the lead now. Into turn 4, where Evan lost his tyre. They avoid it. And Adam now in front of Kobe. Now for the first time he's got to experience the dirty air as he's led from the get-go. So now he's got to try and stick with the Haas. 3.6 seconds now. Yonder taking around half a second. Half a lap per lap, I guess. Eggy losing a few tenths here and there. Grush and Dello still fighting. I'm surprised that curb hasn't caught more people out, as I think that was a mistake for Chubster. You could see them saving their battery. Kobe saving quite a lot, and this battle could continue on for their sake, at least for the next 5 or so laps. Besides sticking with one another, warnings are going to be, well, not really on their mind. They're just going to race, but that's going to be a big part of if they're going to win the race or not. You can see Kobe gaining on Adam, who goes a little defensive. Now Kobe will try switch, get the better line. He has the battery. He's close enough to try and retake the lead, but he's not blasting. Unlike Adam. Now he's blasting as they cross the line. And he's gaining on the Haas. Does he try a move? Not quite close enough. This time round. 10 seconds now they are ahead of Samurai, as Yonder's more than halved the gap. And yeah, this will be a good race from Yonder. I believe it was Saudi last season where Yonder got his first podium in EXFL Tier 2. So one season later, it'll be very fitting for him to get his first podium of the season again. Something about this track. Second week in a row, really, as we see the other Ferrari making gains. Dello up in the 7th, ahead of Grush. So yeah, speaking of 7th, that was where Yonder was, and now he's fighting for a podium. 2 weeks in a row now. It's just a shame he didn't speed in Bahrain, otherwise it would be back-to-back podiums for Yonder. 1.6, you can just see how much he's gained. It's going to be very difficult for Samurai to keep them at bay. Back to tyres. Yeah, 8 laps for him. And Dello should be okay. But yeah, Samurai pitting very early there. Same with Bluey. Samurai's going to struggle to get these to the end. As we have a yellow. And that's Charlie. And Dello. So Charlie's had a spin in the first sector. He's put it in reverse. Dello carries on, but that's lost him a couple seconds to 7th. Charlie carries on. Down in 11th. Do not know what on earth happened to Christian. Why on earth he's about to get lapped by the leaders fighting. Adam holds on to the lead ahead of Kobe while all that was happening. As Christian's left the session. Yeah, I don't know why Christian is 50 seconds behind the next car. But, I mean, he's left now, so that's going to increase. Charlie's out of the race. Oh, because he's left, so that's his AI. So, I don't know quite what happened there. So, then there were 11. We've lost Warren, who retired in the pit lane. Evan, who crashed at turn 4 to bring out the virtual safety car. And we've lost Charlie, who either left and it retired him from the game, which is usually a qualifying thing. Look at that, the 2 RBs are in the points now. Bluey up to 8th, but I'm sure Dello will be back ahead of him soon on fresh mediums. As we see Samurai has been caught by Yonder nearly. Samurai has DRS off Christian's ghosted car, and we'll have it once again. Charlie's back in, so it clearly wasn't him who retired. And he's now going to be able to see that, unfortunately, the game has retired his car. So I'm sure he'll probably leave the session in a minute, which is really unfortunate. Samurai, who's got a lot of battery to burn to try and defend from Yonder. And he's got DRS to help him here. As we look back to the front, and Kobe hasn't got ahead of Adam. So since he took the lead, has been holding on to it. But here we go. Here's Yonder versus Samurai. Samurai goes defensive to the inside with the DRS. Yonder will have so much better tyres, and the AI getting involved as well. Yonder still navigates his way through and gets ahead of Samurai on the curb. Yonder up in the 3rd, even with the distraction of Christian's AI. I don't actually know if that's the AI now, if Christian's got back in his car. Either way, Yonder's up to 3rd now on the podium. And now it'll be Eggy's turn to try and gain on Samurai. As there we go. Now he's got past the AI, and Samurai will do the same. So now Yonder should pull away. Dello's got ahead of Bluey, up into 8th. And yeah, RB, 9th and 10th. I think it was Adam who said Bluey's getting points. At the moment, he's getting 2 of them. And he's trying to fight back. As there we go. Charlie's left, unfortunately. As Dello goes extremely wide there. But we'll hold on. Look back into the leaders then. Adam versus Kobe. It was around this time, near the start or in quali, I said, when it gets to like lap 19-ish, you think, oh, okay, there's only 5 laps to go. There is still going to be a long way left. A good 10 minutes. Adam's going to have to hold on to this lead ahead of Kobe. They haven't been swapping every lap like you'd expect on last game. But this time round, it's so close between them. Adam just knows where to place the car at the moment ahead of Kobe. And he's doing a great job at the moment. Samurai sticking with Yonder. And if he can try and hold on to the Ferrari, maybe that can just hold him in 4th. Ahead of Eggy for 5th. Gonna have a quick check of something. So yeah, Adam is a 2-time race winner in EXFL Tier 2. obviously winning out the Brazilian Grand Prix, fighting in similar fashion with a driver right up to the line and getting his first victory. And then he won Qatar 2 races later. So 5 races later, he's looking for a third to put down his marker on this championship. But Kobe, he wants to continue a very impressive run as the 2 RBs are now going to fight into turn 1 for P9. Nathan versus Bluey. Slight contact between them. But they know with Christian so far behind, back in his car, that they have P9 and P10 without a safety car in the bag. So game on between the 2 teammates. But game on at the front because Kobe is the closest he has been. And now using his battery as Delo gets a pen, will fly past Adam. And with 5 laps to go, Kobe is back in the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And now it's Adam's turn to try and strategize his way of when's best to overtake Kobe. Samurai has lost DRS and Eggy is closing in. And if he catches Christian at the right point, may get DRS to help him. Chubbs has lost nearly 10 seconds in all these laps to his teammate after pitting a bit early. Grush a bit on his own now after Delo pitted. 4 people with penalties, none of the top guys with any. Yeah, Williams once again going to pick up a great haul of points. Mercedes doing not too bad either. Same with Ferrari. Even RB are getting 3, so that's great for them. Haas, the 1 Haas left of Adam, has nearly been left by Kobe. So yeah, Adam has to use a bit of battery there with the DRS to close back in, and you can see how powerful it is to stick with. But he has messed up the 22-23 complex. So now he's going to really have to blast what's left to stick within 1 second. You can see Kobe has been blasting everything. He's smart with this. He's trying to get him out, but it's not enough. So they both blasted down to everything, and Adam's still 3/4 within DRS. But they're both blasting absolutely everything. They both want this win. 4 to go. And this will allow Adam to close up to Kobe. But with Kobe's pace in the first half of the lap, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Adam. But you can see he's closed up and should be okay. Eggy, 2 seconds now to Samurai. It'll be close, but he's looking like he'll get him. And it is crucial. Eggy's 3rd in the championship. Samurai's 2nd. So it's imperative for Eggy that he starts closing in. He knows he can gain on the leader today. It would be good for him too if he could gain on the only other car in ahead of him. Now they're trying to save their battery back up. But Adam's still trying to push a little to stick within. Because this is the part of the track where Kobe is absolutely mighty. It's the second part of the track that Adam has usually had the advantage, besides last lap. That was a bit of an anomaly. As you can see there, he's just gained a whole 10th and a bit on Kobe, who made a slight mistake. So we're going to have 3 and a bit laps left this time round. Adam doesn't mess up 22-23. This time round he has a bit more battery. And this time round he doesn't have to blast it all. Heading into the final corner. Kobe definitely has much more. But now it is a game of chess with 3 laps to go of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That is an RB ahead, and that's Bluey. Far behind Nathan now. Wonder if he pitted again. And if they catch him in time, there'll be DRS for whoever's the leader, if they catch him at the right part of the track. 1 second now between Samurai and Eggy. So it was 2 seconds when Eggy came around the final corner. It's 1 now. So by this time next lap, we should be expecting a move for 4th. And I'm sure since Evan accidentally clipped the wall at turn 4, they've all been very cautious heading in to this corner. I will see from yonder here. Yep, really avoiding it. He's got really nothing ahead to fight for. He's clearly going to hold on to 3rd, even if he gets a penalty. Actually, do keep in mind, considering it's these two, because I kind of forgot, even though I was saying at the start, Samurai, it looked like he illegally overtook Eggy at the start, didn't he? By going off at 4 to keep hold of the place for 2nd. Well, now, 20 odd laps later, let's look at that. Kobe's gapped Adam by a second and a bit. So either Adam's made a mistake, Kobe's got on with it, but that might have just ended the battle for the win. While all that was, I was going to say, yes, even if Eggy doesn't get past Samurai, which, I mean, that's probably inevitable, Samurai has probably a 5-second looming over him, which won't lose him anything behind Eggy. But it kind of cements the 4th and 5th fight. But yeah, look at that. Adam has just not got on with it as well as Kobe in the last minute and a bit. So Kobe starts the penultimate lap with a full 2 and a bit second gap to Adam now. I mean, he has 1 lap fresher tyres. Maybe that's the case. But also, maybe Adam made a big mistake somewhere. Maybe Kobe also got some DRS. Whatever the case, that's kind of ended the battle. And now we know who's going to win. Unless Kobe gets a 3 set for whatever reason. So we look back to the fight for P4 and 5. Eggy to the inside. Martin tries to defend. But Eggy trying to hang it around the outside. But Martin has braked much later. And will hold on to P4 ahead of Eggy, who's trying to find a gap. And now they're going to go into turn 4, where he illegally overtook Martin on the first lap. And this time round, he just about gets it done on lap 24. He had to put a lot of faith in Martin there. There was a bit of contact that sent Martin to the left, but I think Eggy will just about get away with that. As we have a yellow, and that's Chubster! On the penultimate lap, has he done the same thing as Evan? Turned in at turn 4, and he has lost his front left tyre. Oh no, and that's going to promote Grush up to 6th, Dello up to 7th, Nathan up to 8th, Bluey up to 9th. That's going to promote Christian up into the points. As, wait, what? Samurai's back in front of Eggy now. Did Eggy let Samurai go? Did he make a mistake? Either way, he's back behind him. And he's going to have a few chances left. Kobe starts the final lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Adam looks like he'll come home for 2nd. Yonder's definitely going to get 3rd. But now it's the fight for 4th. And can Eggy get past Samurai faster this time round? He's got more battery to use. He's going to size up the exit more. And he's now really close to the Williams. And with DRS, with battery, he is going to fly past before they even begin their final lap. Eggy, finally, up in a 4th. Now for the next minute and a bit, just has to hold on to it. And Samurai, try as he must. He'll still take the lead in the championship by 3 points. But it's going to be P5 at the moment. Grush has been promoted to 6th. Dello 7th. The 2 RBs 8th and 9th. And Christian, well, in a second, should go up to 10th. And Kobe has just looked in complete control for the first half. Had to fight a little with Adam. But since he retook the lead, Samurai's back ahead of Eggy, who's made another mistake or so. Or is Samurai letting him go again? I do not know what's on earth is happening between these two. But Samurai's let Eggy go now. 24 laps later, I guess. As we see Kobe then. He's got one last corner to go. It's been a remarkable first few races in his Tier 2 career. He got a podium on debut 1 week ago. And 1 week later, it's going to be the top step of the podium. Kobe wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's a first ever win in his 2nd race in EXFL Tier 2. A tremendous drive from the Williams. Adam finishes P2 for Haas. And it will be back-to-back podiums at Jeddah for Yonder. Back-to-back first podiums of the season in Jeddah for Yonder. A brilliant 3rd. And now we see Eggy will be P4 ahead of Samurai on the run to the line. 4th for the Mercedes. 5th for the Williams. 35 points haul for the blue British team. Grush will come home in 6th. Again, bit of a lonely race, but picking up those consistent points. And we see Bluey and Christian have finished in 9th and 10th. Nathan, a 9th points finish in a row for him, will do just nicely. Grush, P6. Dello will make it 21 points for Ferrari. I think they'll score the 2nd most points as a constructor then because of Chubster's unfortunate retirement at the end there. And yeah, Dello will finish 7th. Nathan soon behind in 8th. But yeah, another new winner in EXFL Tier 2. And it's Kobe. We've had Samurai, Evan again, and now Kobe. There we go. Nathan crosses the line in 8th. Unfortunately, I don't think I can interview Kobe. Because he's not on Xbox. Adam second, I can interview him. Yonder third, I can certainly interview him. But it's Kobe, top step of the podium for the first time, and I'm pretty sure it won't be the last. He said he had to improve his battery management. He certainly did just that today. One of the best I saw out there. And look at that, Williams. 3 of the 4, but driver of the day goes to Nathan. As he went from last to 8th. So great drive from both RBs, really. From the back row. Gaining on those who made mistakes and whatnot. Fastest lap as well goes to Kobe. Him and Adam were clearly the 2 quickest over the rest. Unfortunately, Samurai couldn't do enough. And what I thought was a 10th or so between Kobe and Samurai was actually 1 whole second. Look at that, no warnings for Kobe at all. 3 warnings for Adam. 1 was for a collision. Don't know about the other 2. Right. Hope you all enjoyed that race. That was very entertaining. Next week is Qatar to finish out the triple header of night races. So that should be very interesting. I remember Adam obviously won Qatar last season. It was one of those where, well, it's one of those where the races at the end of the season and then next season the races at the start. So 2 Qatar races within the span of 7 races, really. All right, let's get Adam in and let's get Yonder in. Where's Yonder? There we go. Right, we have second place joining the party at the moment. Still waiting on Yonder. Hello, Adam. There he is. Hello, Adam. Have you included your audio, mate?
Right. Hello.
Hello. You there, Adam?
Yeah.
Have you included your audio?
Yeah.
Have you included your audio, Ethan?
Yeah. Just doing it now.
Cool. All right. We'll start off with you, Adam. As Kobe obviously wins the race. He's not on Xbox, so congratulations to him. On to next week in Qatar for him. But yeah, Adam, you qualified P2 today after not racing in any of the first 3 rounds, but you've shown everyone that you're fully in this fight. The start wasn't the best. You got overtaken by, I think, Eggy and Samurai. What happened there?
I tried pointing my car towards the racing line and towards P1, but I overshot the grid box. Got put back a bit.
And then you saw the 2 get ahead of you and then actually have a bit of a squabble. Into turn 4. Hello?
The audio keeps on cutting out.
Oh, right, okay. That's fair. Yeah, so obviously Eggy and Samurai got ahead of you, but into turn 4, what was your take on what you saw?
Well, with Navik.
Oh, no, with Eggy and Samurai on the opening lap.
I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really remember.
Never mind. Basically, I think what I saw at least was Samurai overtook Eggy off the track and stayed ahead. And that's when Eggy started struggling because you, at the end of lap 1, got back ahead. You did it, I think, 2 laps in a row.
Yeah.
Around the same area. So yeah, you were enjoying that part of the track. And from then on, how did your race plan out in your mind?
To be fair, a lot of it was just trying to keep the car on track because after about 3 or 4 laps, my tyres just felt dead, and they was trying to snap every single corner. So I was just
Oh,
trying to
right.
keep the car on track, really.
How many warnings did you amount to that race?
I ended up on 2.
2. Yeah, I just checked. You had 3 in total. One was for a collision with Samurai, so the other 2 must have been track limits. Because I checked Kobe, he didn't have anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were around 3, nearly 4 seconds. I think 4.3 was the highest I saw it. Behind Kobe, you pitted 1 lap or 2 laps before him, and then suddenly you were right with him when he came out of the pit lane. So I'm sure you thought the win was definitely much more on from then on.
Yeah.
So then the VSC happened. I thought it was a safety car for some reason, but the VSC ended. You two had a great scrap, and heading into the final few laps, I thought, right, this is going to be very interesting. And then on the 2nd or 3rd lap, when it was around 8/10, I look away, I look back. What happened? It went up to 1.5.
I hit the wall twice going into that chicane at the end.
The 22-23. Yeah, so many people were struggling with that.
I hit
And
the wall on entry and hit the wall on it.
oh
On
my
the
god.
corner.
Yeah, Samurai was doing that in the early stages, and I did predict you'd probably made a mistake somewhere. Okay, that's unfortunate then. To lose the DRS like that and a potential shot at the win. But it's still P2. You come home with a solid 18 points for your first race. Definitely showing that you're in this fight, even after missing 3 races. So you can be happy with that. Are you happy with your performance today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'd have to say, Qatar is next, and you won Qatar at the end of last season. So are we looking at a repeat?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, perfect. So yeah, 18 points for Haas. I guess less said about your teammate, the better today. So on to Qatar, and well done.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 3rd place, we have the Ferrari of Yonder. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So it was a P7, P8 start. Both Ferraris were on the 4th row. I think you were 7th,
I
right?
think no, I think P6, P7 for the Ferrari.
P6, P7, right. So yeah, well, because all the action was happening at the front. But what was your lap 1 like?
I think, to be honest, I was challenging more with Dello. I know Lobster did us both off the start from P8. He was lagging quite a bit in front of me. So yeah, it kind of put me off on the exit of turn 1 or turn 2, whatever you want to call it. And then Dello was around my outside for the the tight left-hander. So I kind of tried to assert my dominance. Ended up locking up and running wide. But no, yeah. Other than that, kind of just came back on track, rejoined nicely. Got ahead of Dello. And other than that, it was mainly just focusing on the 6 cars ahead. Because Dello and I can't remember who he was fighting with, but they just completely dropped off after like lap 1.
Whoosh. Yeah. I saw some parallels this and last week. You were around about 7th, and then you made some strategy, as well as I think today it was a bit more pace-based, to find yourself fighting for a podium, a bit like last week. And if you didn't speed, I think it would have been a carbon copy today and last week, which is promising. The qualifying's solid, but then when it comes to the race, you're really taking it to the next level. So, because you said you're on wheel now, or some new experience, so
new
this
ABS.
is very promising.
No ABS.
Ah,
no
right,
traction,
that was it.
Trying it completely, all off.
And it's looking really good so far. So you're in, and it looks like overall you were able to manage your tyres really well. Because obviously you were chasing down Samurai, even with the lapped car of Christian, you were still managed to get ahead of him, hold on to 3rd, easily were getting 3rd as well. So a very comfortable result for you. You're obviously happy with your result today?
Yeah, I mean, you say about quality. I was like, even on pad, I was never a good qualifier. More of a race. Well, I mean, I say race pace merchant, but I finished 3rd out of, finished bottom out of the 3, so or whatnot. So, it's somewhat. Good performance. I mean, I can't scoff at a podium. After saying finished P4 again, bit of a P4, P5 merchant, but yeah, podium is yeah, I still haven't got a win, so podium is like the top prize that I've unlocked in EXFL at least at the moment.
Well, both races you finished third on track, but yeah, like today you've got your first podium of the season. A bit similar to last season because your first podium and first podium in general was Saudi.
Yeah.
So there's something about this place that makes you do well, and I'm sure that first win is coming. The day you qualify, maybe like top 4, 3, you'll probably win, which hopefully happens.
I'm not sure that's gonna happen.
Well, how are you feeling about Qatar next week?
Yeah, wait, Qatar is why? I just heard you say it with the interview with Adam. But Qatar, is it round 5? Is it?
Yeah, it's next week, round 5.
Isn't it later in the year in real life, or is it just a change up to the calendar?
Oh, we've changed it a little.
Okay.
Triple night race header.
Oh, that's good a touch. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've not played much this game if I'm honest. I mainly, if I hop on a racing game, it's, but I haven't even driven Qatar yet, except for maybe one open lobby. So we'll have to see. I heard from Nabek and Sam that tyre wear was awful around there. Might even be like a free stop, but we'll have to see.
Qatar's probably for the last 2 games been the number 1 track for tyre.
It was a 2-stop in Bahrain. I went with a 1. It was suggesting a 2-stop here. It did a 1.
Yeah,
so
no one.
When it's the 3-stop next week, I'll still do a 1. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Yeah, no one at the top 7, whatever, did.
Yeah,
I
thought Samurai was going to, because from when I exited the pits on lap 13 until he, dropped back and started fighting with Eggy, he lost like 16 seconds. I was like, he's lost the whole pit stop in that time. I thought he would have gone with it, with the 2, especially as he pitted like really early, like lap 8 or something.
He did pit very early. I think it was lap 8 or 9. So it was a struggle to get to the end. I mean, he did a great undercut because he was really struggling at the start. Every time through 22, 23, he was making a mistake. So he pitted early. When he dropped down to 6th, managed to get himself back up in 3rd, but then because of his tyre wear, dropped him back down to 5th in the end.
Yeah.
So it didn't really even matter. But yeah, well done today on 3rd. Consistent so far. 4th, 3rd, 27 points. The leader's on... give me a sec. 62. I think it's 65. So still like a lot of people in the mix at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how Qatar goes. But for now, well done on 3rd. Well done on 2nd to you, Adam. And well done to Kobe. You just messaged me saying really happy with that performance and unlucky to Evan. Yeah, you can say that if you want.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Were any of you near him when that happened?
I was chatting with him. He kind of just happened. It just happened, and he was like, "Well, that's on me." Yeah. I think he knew he was taking a bit too much. It grew with confidence and then just overdid it. It's like first lap out the pits as well, so probably didn't have quite the car underneath him at that point.
I did point out, I think at the start of the race or end of quali, like it was someone's going to hit that inside wall. It usually happens to at least one person every season.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be Evan though. That was quite a shock. But I mean, we all make those mistakes. He'll come back fighting stronger in Qatar. He's lost a bit of ground today, but it makes things more interesting at least. I don't actually know if Evan was going to win today because he was with Adam and he pitted 1 lap later. Would he have closed with the 3-sec? He probably would have got 3rd today instead of you, but it would have been close.
Yeah,
with the penalty and
I say, Navek is inexperienced as they come. I hope he's listening to this. He's a bit of a bottle merchant, but I think he needs to, work on, keeping the consistency before. Well, I mean, technically he's still on the championship hunt and the closest to the leader. He is behind him right now, yeah. But yeah, he just needs to.
3 points.
Yeah, luckily next week for him, there's no walls that are near the track, so should be okay.
Should be. I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way. At the moment, I kind of picture Evan as a bit of a mix between his brother and drifting. Like you combine them, that you get Evan.
Yeah, you got.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, that has been the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well done to our top three, and yeah, on to Qatar in a week.